Okay. All right. Okay. So, it's official. We are officially in the era of our post Bbnaija season 10 analysis. In other words, our post show analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, you're especially welcome. Okay. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. In every Big Brother Naija season, this is one aspect of the season that I personally always look forward to. Yes. You know, when all the dust have settled and it's time for us to take a breather and take a step back, review the entire season all over again, and, you know, begin to pick areas that really excited us in the course of the entire season. You know, our favorite moments, the best gamers, the best strategies, or the best gameplays, the best situationships, you know, just basically analyzing every single area and aspect of the entire show, the entire season. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super elated. I wanted to say excited. I'm super excited right now and I cannot wait. But we're going to begin with today's video, all right? Now, by now, we would have been having a live conversation, like a quick community gathering the next day after the winner was declared. But I announced to all of you on Saturday during our live conversation last week that there was no need. It was just going to be a waste of time to host another community gathering, you know, to begin to talk about the winner that was declared when we already know who was going to be declared winner anyways. I mean, there was no surprises this season. We already knew who production was going to declare as their winner. So there was no point. There was no surprises there. There was nothing that was going to give us like that eureka moment or that shock factor. We already knew. Yes. So, there was no need to have a live conversation. And you know, another thing about us having our live conversations, that is also the time where Bbnaija, my humble self, gets to reveal my fave. Yes. And it's unfortunate that we did not have that live conversation because it would have been so exciting, you know, and refreshing, or let's say entertaining as well, you know, when I reveal my faves and everybody is going gaga, everybody is shouting, "No way, Glory, we thought your fave was this person or that housemate," and all of you are going to be having a field day roasting me live. Especially when you realize that your speculations were actually wrong. But it's fine. It's fine. We can all do all the roasting in the comment section. And of course, on Saturday this week, when we converge here again for our live conversation, all right? But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is officially the beginning of our post-show analysis. And this time around, we're going to be covering all areas that needs to be covered, all right? So beginning with this video, beginning with the topic of this video, Bbnaija is going to be revealing her faves, or just fave of the season. All right, so please make sure you watch this video to the end. Do not skip out on any part, because trust me, you don't want to miss out on anything. Before we get into it, hi, you're all specially welcome to my channel. My name is Bbnaija. This is Frankly Speaking with Bbnaija, and I am the girl with the tea. Without further ado, let's dive right into the details of this video. So first, as an analyst of the show, if there's one thing that always excites me, yeah, now I know a lot of you are going to find it weird, but it's fine. Don't worry. That's my personal kick. All right. If there's one thing that I always find exciting and quite entertaining, is how a lot of people listen to my analysis, and where they feel like my analysis does not swing in favor of their fave, they begin to speculate about certain housemates that I have pledged loyalties to, right? They begin to speculate. Now, in a season, right? In an entire Big Brother Naija season, I can count at least maybe 5 different housemates that viewers who are not used to my analysis will speculate that I am supporting, that I am a die-hard stan of. I don't know if you get what I mean. Yeah. Now, at the start of the season, they will always pinpoint one particular housemate that they feel like I am supporting and promoting. Now, as time goes on, they would then begin to feel like, maybe it's not this person, maybe it's this other person. And then they begin to change like that. They begin to change like that. And then sometimes, even if they end up pinpointing maybe 5 or more people, they will now stick to one person that, oh, that is Glory's fave. That is Glory's fave. And this thing happens a lot if their fave is not the so-called person that they feel I am promoting. So when I see this whole, I call it a rat race. When I see this rat race happening, I find it very entertaining because me, I'm just over here innocently doing my work, innocently doing my analysis, innocently watching the show, drawing my observations and analyzing all of those things to all of you, right? Now, those who get it, get it. Those who do not get it will never get it. And you see, yeah, it's not even only about people who are not used to my analysis. Sometimes even a lot of you who are used to my analysis, you end up getting confused and you begin to wonder like, okay, hold on a second. Who is Glory's fave this season? Who is Glory's fave this season? Who is Glory's fave this season? But I want to give special appreciation and recognition to those of you who truly know and understand me. A lot of you are OGs here. You understand how my mind works. And I find it very fascinating. You understand how my mind works. You understand what I always look for every season of the show. And the most intriguing part of this relationship that we have is how we have a shared expectation from the housemates every season. Yes. And so by virtue of that understanding, that telepathic understanding that we have, a lot of you also join me in laughing, like having a good time, just sitting and laying back and watching people speculate about who my fave is for the season. And of course, yes, Glory Elijah has a fave every season. And the thing is, sometimes it's not just one person. Sometimes it's more than one person. It could be 2 people. It could be 3 people. It could be a lot of people. Yes. For me, one thing I always hinge my likeness to a housemate or housemates and then to declare them as my personal fave for the season is their gameplay. Those who knows it. It is their gameplay. I am never about aesthetics. You know me. For those of you who know me, you know me. I'm never about aesthetics. I do not see aesthetics. I do not see size. I do not see color. I do not see complexion. I do not see tribe. I do not see background. I do not see class. I do not see status. What I see are the housemates and what they have to offer for the season. So any housemate that comes into the house and is just chilling and telling us, I'm just being myself, I'm sorry, you're too boring for me. Any housemate that comes on the show and says, I'm just having fun, I'm just going with the flow, I'm sorry, you're too boring for me. Because as far as I'm concerned, the show is not just a so-called social experiment, which in my opinion now is not really an entire, complete, total, packaged social experiment, because it is flawed in so many ways, filled with injustice and extortion. We've talked about that on Saturday during our live conversation. Yes. So what I am really focused on at the end of the day, because to be very honest, I turn a blind eye to the entire concept of social experiment because it never works and it doesn't really make sense because there's a lot of imbalance and there's a lot of unfairness involved, especially with the rule book. But we're not going to talk about that on this video, all right? So what I am really focused on is the competition. Who are those who came into the house prepared to survive, fight for their survival, play the game? Now, they might not come into the house with a strategy, but whilst being in the house, what strategies did they create and employ to navigate their way around, human behavior, the complexities of human interaction, the complexities of human behavior, the dynamics of human relationships? What strategies did they come into the house with or formulate inside the house, and then at the end of the day, employ to pave a way for themselves, to survive, to play the game, to form relationships, and as well to eliminate their contenders, their competition in the house? That's what Glory Elijah is always looking forward to. I do not care about, oh, is this one fine? I don't do pretty privilege. I don't do that. I don't care. I don't care about who people deem as the finest girl or guy of the season. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't see that. I don't care about who dances the most in the house. I don't care. I don't care about who sleeps the most. I don't care. All these things I've mentioned, that is what Glory Elijah is really concerned about. And so right from the stage, on the day of the launch show, I focus heavily on what these housemates tell us with their mouth that they are going to do inside the house. When they see that crowd in the live studio, cheering them on, welcoming them into the Bigiverse, into Big Brother's world, into this world of complexities, into this world of manipulation, blackmail, and everything vile and beautiful that such a social experiment carries, I always long to hear what they say or what they have to say, what they want to do, what they are coming to show us. Because of course, Ebuka always ask, okay, what do you want us to see? What should we expect from you? Oh, should we expect fun? Should we expect drama? I always look forward to that. And guys, season in, season out, we hear housemates who make a truckload of promises, telling us about how they're going to bring drama, chaos, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to give us basketballs, they're going to bring wahala, a lot of promises. And then sometimes I go ahead to watch their pre-recorded intro videos. Yeah, the videos where they pre-recorded, right? They sat down and they told us a bit more about themselves. Sometimes I bother to go watch those videos. Other times I do not really bother to go watch those videos because I want to see them in their raw form, because those videos are pre-recorded. What they share on the stage is not pre-recorded. It is organic. It is raw. So from that stage, as they get into the house, Glory Elijah has already started picking her faves. In other words, I'm already looking at those who are prepared to come and give us a show, who are prepared to come and play the game. Now, a lot of you are going to say, some of them might not tell us what they want to come and do in the house, so because they're probably nervous about the crowd, they're probably having stage fright. I understand. And that is why I said that for me, right from that stage, it's either those who will announce their strategies to us and tell us what they're going to come and do inside the house, or those who, in the course of the game, they begin to formulate strategies, turn them into gameplays, and execute them, employ them to pave their way in the house and also buy longevity to the end of the season. So, ladies and gentlemen, all of this said now, we're now going to officially get into Glory Elijah's faves. Now, I'm going to announce to all of you that from the start of this Big Brother Naija 10/10 season, Glory Elijah actually had 4 faves from the stage. From the double launch show, Glory Elijah had 4 faves in total. And then it later switched when the show started progressing. It later switched into a lot more people. I think this time around into 6 people. Yeah. So this season, Glory Elijah actually had about 6 faves out of the 29 housemates that were introduced to us. We're going to begin from the first person. Now, this one is going to shock everyone, but don't worry, don't panic. Don't panic, all right? And I promise you, I am not trying to chase clout or anything. For those of you that are familiar with my analysis, you know that I am clout itself. Yeah, I'm sorry, let me brag a bit. I am clout itself, so I'm not chasing clout or anything, all right? So just listen. Now, the first housemate that really impressed me with their introduction this entire season was Imisi. Yep. Go and watch my intro video for the season. That's the video I did about the female's introduction for the season. Go and watch it, and you would hear my excitement when I was speaking about her introduction. Imisi was the first housemate, male, female, that really caught my attention. Now, how did she catch my attention? She said on the stage that she will be acting. She will act to love. She will act to care, right? She'll be acting all through. That was what she said. Now, she said a few other things, but what's really captured my attention, what held me spellbound, was those words that she said. For me, it felt like this is the moment I had been waiting for all through my life of analyzing the show. I've always wanted to see someone that will come and tell me that this is what they would do. Even in terms of loving and shipping or whatever, they're going to be acting. I was quite excited about it. The same excitement I felt when Kelly Ray and Cassia were introduced to us during the No Lose Guard season, when they had told the viewers that they were going to pretend like they were not a couple. I felt that. I was super excited, and I just could not wait to see how she was going to pull it off. So because of that, I developed a keen interest in whatever she was going to be doing. Now, it's not like I wasn't paying attention to other housemates. No, I was, but I really wanted to see how she was going to pull it off. Because I must admit, the housemates that they introduced to us this season, they were quite smart, like really smart. Whoever was in charge of the selection process, I mean, I've given them massive amounts of flowers already, so I'm even tired of giving them their flowers, but they did a fantastic job, yeah. So I really want to see how Imisi was going to pull it off. And she started off well. She really started off well. I mean, you attest to the fact that from the night she got into the house, removed her wig, the way she carried her bag up the staircase, what she was even wearing, looking really ghetto and like she was from the trenches, she was already in character. We knew that she was acting. And I was quite excited because I knew that this season was going to be very exciting for me. Now, all was going well until the lines started getting blurred. Yep, the lines started getting blurred. Now, for someone that said that she was going to be acting all through, the lines became so blurred that the cracks started showing. So when one would think that she was acting, in reality, she wasn't actually acting, because that was her true character rearing its ugly head. Yes, Imisi's true self started showing. Now, for one who was acting, you see that whole scenario where she kept on forcing herself on Faith, and Faith kept on rejecting her politely, gently, rejecting gently, politely, and she got really upset, told a few of her friends in the house about it, and then when she had the diary session, went to go and tell Big Brother. At that point in time, Imisi was not acting. She felt really pained because she really went out of her way to throw herself at this young man, and he constantly, gently, politely rejected her advances. So it was more like him bruising her ego on live TV. Now, later on, Imisi started saying that she was just playing with him. That was no jokes. That was no jokes. You know why? Because if truly she was acting, when she went to the diary room and she went to tell Big Brother about it, she would have told Big Brother that, I just want to play a bit with him. I just want to do this. I just want to do that. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. No, she did not do that because it was really deep for her. So initially, she wanted to make it look like she was playing mind games with the guy. But then her true anger started showing itself when she started to deliberately, premeditatedly provoke the guy. Still off the stage, the second housemate that really made a big impression on me, that got me really curious about what they're going to be offering on the show this season, was Isabella. Yep. She had said that she was going to be trusting the guys more than the ladies, and she had proved that the moment she walked in through those doors into the mansion and had literally completely ignored all the girls and had straight up gone to the kitchen. I think she went upstairs first, and then she had gone to the kitchen. Like, she did not even look at the faces of any of the girls. Yes, not until later that evening when the girls were introducing themselves, and she had a little back and forth with Isabella, who had refused to spill her real age. And I'm like, okay, this one is spicy. She's already giving us excitement, you know. Now, where I no longer felt her gameplay was when she was literally sexualizing everything. Yeah, I mean, it was getting boring. Yeah, she was overly sexualizing everything. It was getting boring. It was looking like the same old type of script. So I lost interest. Yeah, I wanted something that was going to hold me spellbound, something that was going to make me think. Hers was too easy, you know. It was too easy. It was too, oh, kiss, 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 touch me, touch me. It was too sexual. And for me, that is not my cup of tea. So she fell out of my list. Now, off the stage, the next person that really impressed me with their big talks about what we're going to be sharing us this season was Denari. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I know it's a shocker to a lot of you, but Denari started off as my fave right off the stage. And it is because of the things he said or promised that he was going to be showing us this season. Now, he has said that he wants to talk to the demons in people. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you, judge for yourself. This entire 10/10 season, did Denari talk to the demons in people at all? Not at all. The way Denari fizzled out, it was shocking. The guy was there, but it felt like he was not in the house. The guy was almost invisible. Now, to some extent, the fact that he was underperforming in the arena games, well, it kind of truncated his ego to some extent because he felt like a failure. And then the ship he got into with Doris, quite frankly, it did not help matters because Doris is more of a big personality. Why? He is more of a very chilled guy, and Doris's personality kind of subdued his own personality more than ever. So the guy was literally like a shrunk balloon, you know, a deflated balloon moving around in the house like a snail. And then when he comes for his diary session, he was overcompensating, you know, like wanted to talk and talk and talk. And sometimes was talking out of point, talking left and right without direction. It was exhausting, like really exhausting. So in fact, earlier in the season, the guy literally fell out of my list. I beg, like it wasn't my cup of tea anymore. Yeah. I think he also said that he was going to be giving creative entertainment. Denari was boring. He wasn't giving creative entertainment at all. The only times I really saw him was when they were having their wager presentation, which was like just maybe 2 out of the multitude of the wager presentations that they had this season that really stood out for me. For the rest, he didn't cut it for me. Another thing he said was that the only time it's not a performance from him was when he was asleep. So the guy made very great promises, but everything he promised, none of them came to fruition. And I was really disappointed. So Daenerys fell out of my list. Now, right off the stage, the next and last person that was my fave from the stage till the season ended was Kola. Yeah, I was calling Kola my Shayla. Those who knew. Those who did not get it, did not get it. Now, this is how Kola stole my heart and my attention. Kola said, strategy Okay, he said his strategy is to use people's game to play his game. To some extent, he did that. Now, he also said that drama doesn't follow him. He escorts drama. That was amazing. I was blown away. I was blown away, and I just could not wait to see how this guy was going to pull it off. Yes, I was really curious about Kola's game, and Kola did not disappoint. Kola delivered till the end. He did. He delivered to the end, and I'm going to tell you how. All right. Now, these 4 people were my faves off the stage, and I've told you how, they kind of fell off for me. Yeah. Now, a lot of people felt like, oh, Faith was my fave from the very beginning. But here's the shocker. Faith on the stage was one person that I did not really notice. Now, the only thing that stood out for me about Faith was the fact that he looked like Perez's clone. They looked so alike. I mean, the resemblance was really, it was just very striking. And then there was a part where he had given his jacket to someone. I'm going to be frank with all of you. When I saw that, I'm like, this guy, you want people to come and start liking you all of a sudden, right? So I did not buy that gesture, because for me, I'm not going to be swayed by anybody that started giving off their shoes or their clothes to any, live audience. I'm not going to do that. I want to see you play the game first before I begin to rate you. Yes. And that was it for me. Yeah. So I did not really notice Faith like that, because he came and said, oh, he's a lover of love. He's going to do whatever it takes not to be, evicted. I heard all of these things, but he was not, like, he did not give me a banging statement that was going to make me say, okay, this one is my fave from the stage, right? So where I started noticing Faith was inside the house. Those are my faves off the stage. Those 4 housemates, they were my faves off the stage. But it started to change, and I started to, omit and add people, all right? Now, by the time the season started running, up until the end of the season, I had 6 faves. Yep, 6 of them. I'm going to tell you why they remained my faves, all right? Now, Imisi remained one of my faves by virtue of the game that she played. Now, if you had watched my congratulatory video to Imisi, I'd said something, and a lot of people were actually breaking their heads off. A lot of people want to just kill themselves. But I'm going to repeat it again, because it is my fact. And it's a fact of the show, right? Imisi played that game. The way she carried on this act of poverty, the way she portrayed this young girl who has suffered so much in life, who has lost so much, who slept in the streets, who suffered and suffered. You see that whole victim script? She really played it to perfection, because she understood the audience. She understood that most people that watch the show, they have savior's complex, hero's complex. I've said it several times, when we have our YouTube live conversation. They have hero's complex, savior's complex. They always feel the need, especially the Nigerian viewers, they always feel the need to elevate somebody, out of poverty. They always feel the need to give somebody a grass to grace story. And Imisi was the perfect candidate for them. So as far as these viewers were concerned, no matter what any other housemates did, so long as they were not as poor as Imisi presented herself to be, Imisi was the perfect victim, the perfect poverty-stricken victim that they needed to showcase and flex their muscles, their power, that they can be a knight in shiny armor to somebody that is in need. Yeah. So she played that script to perfection, and she got their support. Now, aside that, production too felt the need to want to play into the preference of the viewers. Yes. And so they paved the way for Imisi to have a smooth sail the entire season. And that is the reason why Imisi never caught any punishments or infringements for any violations of the rule book. It was only after they unjustifiably, unjustly, unfairly, biasly, disqualified Faith. That was when production thought it's smart or convenient to issue a punishment of silence to Imisi, which in my opinion was the dumbest thing to do, to be very honest, because of what use was that? Of what use? As a matter of fact, I put it to you that they issued that punishment to this girl to even rub it into the heart of those viewers that, oh my God, this girl is really suffering. Now they've punished her to silence, that she cannot talk. And Imisi too was playing perfectly, to that script of, oh my God, they've taken away my voice. I'm suffering. The pity votes kept on rolling and rolling and rolling. So she really played that character to perfection. And she got those people that supported her right where she wanted them. So for that, I gave her flowers, still give her flowers, because that is the game. She played the game. And I'll still maintain that she actually did not deserve to win. In as much as she played the game, she did not deserve to win. Why? Because there were so many violations that she did. If production had hammered her with judgments based on those violations, she probably wouldn't even be in the show anymore. She probably wouldn't have seen the next week. But production was biased. They chose who they wanted to win. They wanted to sell a story of humility, a grass to grace story, blah, 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 blah. And they had the perfect candidate and it worked for them. Yes. So she was my fave because she was playing the game. The game required grit. The game required ruthlessness, brutality. It's a game of survival, and she played according to that. But she was very vile in playing the game, and production aided her in every single violation that she committed the entire season. Now, the next person that was my fave was Dede. Dede, oh my goodness, Dede gave me a never seen before type of script. In the history of Big Brother, I've never seen an individual that comes into the house and tells the guys, I do not hug people. But she carried that script for 5 good weeks. And it was just so beautiful to watch. She played it to perfection until she started buckling under the pressure, Now, she messed up. And she fumbled a lot of times along the line, fell into the same old type of ship with Kola, even though their ship was very upside down, topsy-turvy, up and down, filled with so much chaos and drama and everything in between. But you see that first 5 weeks, Dede was on everybody's lips. Dede was on everybody's lips inside and outside the house. She captured everybody's attention. Everybody wanted to see what was going to happen next between Dede and Kola or Coin or Jason J. Dede held the show for weeks. Like, her storyline was major and it was very entertaining. It was very refreshing. I had never seen anything like it before. So the fact that whether she knowingly or unknowingly came to play that kind of game, I enjoyed it and I appreciated it. So she was one of my faves. Now, my next fave was Kola. Kola might have been a terrible gossip. Kola might have been manipulative sometimes. Kola might have been described as a woman rapper, a man who takes women's business too serious, a man who has an unbridled tongue, a man who never knew when to just stop, stop chasing, stop talking, a man who never knew just when to shut up. But if there's one thing, or maybe 2 things that Kola really did this season that engraved him in my mind as a viewer, as an analyst, it's the fact that Kola was present. Yep, Kola was present. Everywhere you turn, Kola was there. Kola made himself relevant by himself. Kola spoke himself into the minds of viewers. Kola planted himself, engraved himself into our heads, to the point that when Kola is not talking, everybody is worried. When Kola is sleeping, Kola had not woken up. Everybody's wondering, okay, where is Kola? Where is Kola? Kola made everything about him. Dede is silent. Kola makes it about himself. Dede doesn't want to talk. Kola makes it about himself. The fact that Kola would always pick a fight, a quarrel, a problem, always had a gossip to share with his friends. The fact that Kola was always reporting Dede to people, doing media rounds. You see all those things Kola was doing, ladies and gentlemen. That was Kola planting himself in every nook and cranny of the house. Sometimes it was irritating. Sometimes it was overbearing. It was annoying. But that is the game. That is the game. Kola gave us gist. Kola carried us along his journey. Kola carried us along his journey of trying to woo Dede, of chasing Dede, the backstabbing, the backbiting, the gossips. Woo! Kola made this season very engaging in his own way, and I loved him for it. I loved his personality for it. Now, I was afraid that Kola just wanted to ship, and ship. But it wasn't just about shipping. It was about keeping the conversation going and engaging and very interesting. With Kola, there was always something to talk about. Now, I wasn't particularly keen on his siblingship, relationship, or whatever with Imisi. I wasn't really keen on that one. I did not give that one my energy, yes. But it was just his general activity. Kola was always busy as a bee. Kola was everywhere. And because of that, he made himself a vital element in the plot of this entire season. I'm telling you, without Kola, I don't know what this season would have been. Yes, when we talk about the plot, the storyline, Kola was a vital element somewhere. If you had removed him whilst the season was still in progress, it would have shifted the trajectory of the season. Yeah. So Kola was my fave through and through. And then there was Mide. See, in fact, let me put them together, Mide and Bright. A lot of people felt like the only thing those two were doing in the house was their midnight rendezvous, their beneath the sheet business, knacking or not knacking, whatever they were doing beneath the sheets, aggressive cuddling and all whatnot. A lot of people felt like that was the only thing they were doing. No. If you listened to their conversations between themselves and with Kola and with Dede, now this time around between Mide and Dede, you would have seen how smart they were. Now, Mide, of course, was quite smitten by her relationship with Bright Morgan. So she did not see that the guy was using her as a pawn in his game to teach Dede a lesson. Same thing with Kola. Kola was really smart, but he did not see that Bright Morgan was using him as a pawn in his own game to teach Dede a lesson for rejecting him from the very beginning. Yes, but you see those two together, Mide and Bright Morgan, they played the game like I've never seen before in the history of Big Brother Naija. Every time they sat down to analyze Kola and Dede's situationship or Dede and the other fishes' situationship, it was always a very, very smart and intellectual analysis from them. And you know, people would look at Mide and think that she's a pretty face. Mide wasn't just a pretty face. Every time she opened her mouth, she was giving very, very apt observations. And sometimes I would look at this girl like, oh, wow, this girl is good. She was really smart. And she wasn't wrong when she said in her intro that she knows how to clock people's game. She was really good at clocking people's game. Really, really good. Really good. It just pained me that she did not clock that Bright Morgan was using her to teach her friend Dede a lesson. But you see those two really, really smart players. They really played the hell out of that game. And I loved the way they implanted themselves, like rooted themselves in between Kola and Dede. Like they refused to remove themselves. So they made themselves indispensable to both Kola and Dede. And Bright Morgan, sitting on 2 strikes, but was able to manipulate his way around till the 8th week. Was it 8th week or 9th week? That was insane. Okay, 8th week. That was insane. Massive kudos to them. Now, last but not the least, Dr. Fave. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, Fave did it for me this season. Of all the faves that I had, Fave was what 10 over 10 was for me. Fave was the definition of 10 over 10 this season. The theme said 10 over 10, do the most. Fave was that definition. See, I'll tell you this for free. If you've been following my analysis for years, like season in, season out, you will know that Bbnaija is not one person who is too keen on performances in the arena. I've never been too keen. For me, the arena has a life of its own. The arena is the arena. I just want to see how the housemates navigate their way around one another inside the mansion, not in the arena, yes. But you see, Fave brought a brand new interest for me in the activities of the arena. I took the gameplay in the arena very serious this season because of Fave. Fave got me deeply invested on the housemates' performances in the arena, in the wager, in the sponsor task, in the head of house challenge, in the head of house challenger. Fave birthed that interest for me. He made it exciting. He made it refreshing. Because of Fave, I was always looking forward to anything and everything that was happening in the arena, all because of Fave. Fave grew, okay, let me not say grew. Fave was able to create a tie between the arena activities to the activities inside the house. They were intertwined. Because of his high performance in the arena, it was able to stir the housemates. In other words, it riled up the housemates to the point of them growing envious of him. They disliked him. They hated him for it. Guys, how do I explain this? You know, when at the start of the season, Faith would always go around, talking about his career, about medicine, about life in general, just major things around. And we had a live conversation and we said, in fact, I said that, okay, Faith is very good at clocking people's games. Now, we want to see him put to good use his intelligence, all those intellectual talks. We want to see him put it to good use. Ladies and gentlemen, it felt as though Faith heard what I said, what we all said on the outside, because from the very next day, Faith started really playing the game. This guy brought a whole new meaning to being a gamer in Big Brother's house. See, whether we like it or yes, right? Faith was more like a mind reader. The way he was able to study every single one of those housemates, the way he was able to see their gullibility and played upon it to the fullest of his own advantage. That was premium entertainment. That was premium. You see where the housemates would provoke him, right? They would do some very, very interesting, crazy provocations. And they would expect him to also be shouting the way he was shouting. But instead, he would stand in their faces and he'll be smiling. And he'll be telling them, okay, I'm here. What do you want to say? That thing would always drive them really crazy. And you'll see them going unhinged. And then it would be on, very few occasions when he would really give major reactions. But on those periods when he doesn't want to give major reactions, just by playing on their intelligence, standing there and watching them go crazy with a smile on his face. Oh my God. That was satisfaction overload. There's been only one housemate in the history of this Big Brother Naija, Big Brother whatever, that really did that for me. And that was Miracle OP during Big Brother Titans, where he had played mind games with Yemi Craigs, and Yemi was going mad. Yemi that is always so put together, that is always, well reserved. Yemi was going really mad. The guy was going crazy. And Miracle just sat down where he was. He looked at the camera and he smiled. This very, very devious smile. And I'm like, wow! Faith played the game with so much, with so much intelligence. So much intelligence. I thoroughly enjoyed watching him play the game. Faith played a lot of mind games. And if you're an intellectual, you would enjoy it. There's a lot more to say, but I would stop here. I would stop here, all right? Because I would love to hear from all of you. So please go ahead and share your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about Glory Elijah's face? Yeah. And yeah, I'll see you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye.